A truck carrying chicken parts tried to stop suddenly but couldn't. The accident sent the mess all over the interstate.
I've seen a lot of things in the highway before, and this is interesting. It's gross.
It was gross to look at and slick to drive on. Police had to move in to protect motorists.
It's actually I-40 Chicken Command.
Police say the greasy debris created quite a danger for drivers.
It's kind of funny, but it's actually hazardous because it's very slick. I pulled up on it, first car to it, and traffic was trying to dodge it and avoid it, and we're actually stopping, braking, and sliding all through it.
The extremely slick situation took a long time to clean up. The fire department used degreasers, water, and sand to mop up the highway.
I've seen worse things, not like this, though.
The pre-lunchtime accident kept the crews busy, but not in a mood for much of a lunch break.
You gonna have chicken for lunch?
No, sir, I'll have a bologna sandwich.
Sully, you're right here. You cover for Link. 12 comes out here.
It was the usual pre-game meeting, but the team roster was anything but usual. It now includes Manon Rayon, professional hockey's first female player, who insists the only difference between her and her teammates is where they dress.
I just meet the guys when I'm dressed and when the guys are dressed, and I think it's just normal. It's the only thing different that I have from the guys, and it's normal for me, it's normal for the guys, and it's normal for all the girlfriend and wife of the player.
Rayon went pro 2 years ago, proving herself in the pressure-filled position of goaltender.
I think everybody's going, yeah, right on, first female on the team, and for hockey, stuff like that. I think everybody's pretty well heard of Manon around. You know, she's big headlines, big news in the hockey world, and I think everybody's thinks she'll be a great addition to our hockey club.
Rayon wants to be on the '98 Olympic hockey team in her native Canada. Meanwhile, her only brush with the Olympics has been with Nancy Kerrigan.
She came on the ice with me, and she took a stick and she started to shoot at me, and after that I have all my equipment and I have to do a spin with my equipment.
Rayon may never win any silver medals, but if she can make it as the first woman in pro hockey, to her, that'll be as good as gold. Lisa Stone, News Channel 5.
I'm sure a lot of people are like I am. They're sitting back in blissful ignorance, hoping that the system will work and that someone's going to turn up and turn on their power.
Nancy Gregg is sitting in the dark with electricity all around. Everyone else on her street has power but her. When she called NES to see when she would be back online, the utility told her their records showed she already had electricity. The call left her with more questions than answers.
So I'm kind of concerned that there are a lot of people sitting out there like I was, just assuming.
Meanwhile, NES crews are logging some serious overtime, trying to piece together the broken bits of their system. Most of the workers will have to get reacquainted with their families after this is all over.
By the time I come home, I'm going to bed, and they're getting up, and I'm leaving again. They're going to school. I ain't seen them very much.
My poor little friends have not weathered this storm very well, but I went to Kroger's and bought some water to try to bring them back to life, and I'm hopeful that it will. I don't know.
But knowing crews are working as fast as they can is little consolation for people in the dark.
Each day we just sort of can't believe it's still going on.
To make matters worse, creative crooks seem to be trying to cash in on the crisis. This Westmead apartment complex has had reports of someone posing as a Metro policeman telling people to leave their units because of the outage. A real Metro officer is now patrolling the place to head off potential trouble. NES tells us if everyone around you has power and you don't, call and make sure you're on the repair list. If you get an answer like the woman we talked to, that the computer shows you have power when you actually don't, have NES change the list manually to add your name. Lisa Stone, News Channel 5.
Nashville Electric Services, Nancy, may I help you?
Nancy Barbeau needs an angel looking over her shoulder. She's worked 12 days straight. Pictures remind her of the family she hasn't seen, but she says she feels for everybody who calls from a cold, dark house.
We are very sympathetic because many of us, service was off too for many days, so we can understand exactly.
Customer service.
Everyone in this room is trying to pull powerless customers through the rough time, and NES is trying to do the same for its employees. But flowers from grateful customers have been the biggest surprise.
We're trying every trick in the book to keep morale at its highest. It's very tough. People have been working 16 hours in the field on a straight basis before having any rest, and this has been going on for 8, 9, 10 days now.
Cordero says NES is in the home stretch now. Less than 2,000 Davidson County residents are without power. These are the areas hardest hit by the storm.
Some of the nicest parts of town, heavily treed, beautiful old trees that just came down intact, and there's a lot of work to restoring it.
Yeah, you had service and then it went off again. Is that correct?
Hundreds of unanticipated calls came in Sunday after the rain knocked out power in Pegram and along Harding Road. That's been fixed, but if you don't have power and haven't called NES in the past 24 hours, call again.
We need to know the name that the service is in, the service address, and their home telephone number, and if there's any other information they can give us such that a tree is still down.
MTA was on its snow route schedule. Buses totally avoided hills, but still, more people took the bus because of the ice. Some drivers didn't take certain precautions.
Can't see a thing.
Why are you driving without cleaning a windshield first?
Well, I've got a little opening there.
You really think that's safe?
No.
But she continued to drive without stopping to scrape her iced-over windshield. As night fell, accidents increased. Police say this man didn't wear a seatbelt and suffered a severe chest injury when he slammed into the steering wheel after a head-on collision.
Well, I'm hoping to get home sometime.
That's the departure screen at Nashville International Airport. CXLD means all those flights were canceled. Thousands of people stood in lines hoping to reschedule and get accommodations for the night. Many weren't very happy.
We came in for our flight and everything's been canceled. We called prior to coming to the airport. They said everything was running. We got here, everything was canceled.
Some sat on a plane as long as 2 hours while crews tried to de-ice the aircraft for takeoff. But one side would freeze up again before they could finish the other side. And that's not all.
We felt a pretty good jolt there, and come to find out, one of the de-icing trucks, I think, slid into the back of the plane.
It was a walk back in time to a 19th century street scene at Christmas. And in the heart of the historic district in Franklin, you could find storybook characters come to life.
Bob Cratchit, you get no raise this year.
Oh, Father!
You get no raise this year.
Please,
sir, you promised, sir.
This is Franklin's 8th annual Dickens of a Christmas celebration, and the chilly day set the mood as Father Christmas made the rounds.
This is Mr. Dickens.
This is my friend Max, the chimney sweep.
Then the revelers entered another time warp as the more modern parade made its way through town, and Father Christmas's alter ego threw candy to the crowd, lighting up little faces. The festivities continue all day Sunday.
We want everybody to come out at 5 o'clock at the end of the festival on Sunday to make sure that they light a candle and do some Christmas caroling with us.
But beware the party pooper.
Humbug.
Lydia Linker, News Channel 5.